How's it going, everyone? Theme Park Tracker here with yet another West Coast Racers construction update. Lots to talk about in this update as the park is making steady progress on the area and coaster. Walking along this pathway, we are greeted with the underground signage, which is the official name for this new land or area the park is building. I think it looks really good and ties well into the streetcar racing and downtown Los Angeles theme they're going for. Over to the right, we still have the temporary green fences, and more of the black metal fencing has been revealed around the support structure. Looking at the former Terminator Salvation gift shop and photo viewing location, it looks like they aren't going to do anything with it as far as we can tell. They added some new paint on some parts of the building, but other than that, I don't see what this building can be used for. Maybe it'll be a gift shop again, because I would hope they wouldn't want to have this building standing empty. Looking down at the site, we are greeted with new plants inside the planters here. My first reaction to this was that they are very small. I guess the 2 palm trees they put in will grow over time, but it will take a while before that happens. Other than that, I think that's all we're going to get in terms of plants situated in the middle of the land. I don't see any more spots within the land here where they could place more trees without ripping up the asphalt. There's a possibility of some being added on the outside of the walkway, but even those areas are getting quickly paved over. This is pretty disappointing that the nicest looking part of the concept art has been cut. The multiple planters with the crosswalk lines along the asphalt would have been amazing. This is a matter of waiting for the final product to be finished, but again, I don't see anywhere else where they could add more. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for this area in terms of landscaping and other natural scenery pieces. Underneath the 2 launches out of the station building, they've installed a matching black metal fence that was found at the beginning of the video. I'm unsure if guests will be able to walk right up to the fence because in the concept art there was race cars sitting here for people to look at from a distance. What I think might end up happening here is a bunch of seating with umbrellas. This will give guests multiple choices on where to sit after choosing from what looks like 3 dining locations in this one area. You have the snack tracks to the left of Slingshot, which is already open, Twin Charge Tacos in the gray and blue building, and then there's the unannounced food location in the orange building to the left of the unnamed go-karts attraction. Something I really appreciate about this area is the huge offering of food locations and the variety they offer. Something else to point out is these wires that are strung up around certain segments of supports. These are most likely going to be tarps over any walkway the coaster might travel over. This could be for many things like catching guest loose articles that may fly out of the trains and at the same time provide shade for those on the walkway. Or they could end up being for something completely different. Many areas of the walkway are left uncovered, or there are moments when the track isn't anywhere near the wires but still over the walkway. This leads to the discussion of if these are really for the purpose of protecting guests down below or just provide shade for them. A few rides in the park travel over guests without any type of cover, such as Ninja, Tatsu, and Revolution. Now let's talk about some of the bigger news this update, and that is the steel framing for the station structure. During this visit, I noticed crews were loading in this green motor or air tank looking thing into the station. If anyone knows what this might be, then please comment down below. The station is coming along nicely, and based off the concept art, it's a really neat looking design, and from the steel frame they're putting up, it looks like it's going to stay true to that look. The station is going to house the loading and unloading platform for the white track side and the on-ride cutscene on the yellow track side of the station. This little show will be played while the train is waiting for the other to finish loading, so that then they can both start at the same time when they pull forward to the starting line. From the looks of it, the station structure may be the last thing that needs to go up. Then after that, we even might see some testing sometime in November. We don't know where they stand on wiring up the coaster and electrical boxes, but from this visit, I could see they were hard at work on that part. This is another one of those moments of only time will tell. The left side of the land seems to be getting the most attention as most of those elements are nearing completion, like the planters and food locations. The right side, however, is still unpaved and missing thematic elements, most likely because they still have heavy-duty trucks that need to bring supplies to the station construction. Going back to the little on-ride cutscene element of the coaster, after you complete your first lap around the ride, I'm very curious as to what they have planned for this. There's so many possibilities for what they can do here, and it's probably the only coaster at the park that's going to feature an element like this. Early rumors were that the head of West Coast Customs was going to narrate something to the riders while they were waiting for the other train. There would have been a long and short version depending on the loading times the other side was facing. This brings up a quick question of whether or not the cutscene elements will have to be cut short due to the other train being ready early. Or will the loading side train have to wait until the cutscene is over? How long the cutscene is going to be is a huge factor in the rider per hour calculation in all of this. I can see many moments where the ride operators loaded the train quickly, but that train can't launch until riders have finished experiencing the West Coast Custom show. The show they play also needs to have replayability. What I mean by this is, on repeat rides, you don't want to see the same show every time you go on it. Some variation would be neat inside this room. Although we don't know what kind of show it is, so we can't really predict the randomness. I imagine some music will be playing, and then right above the riders is a giant TV screen with the head of West Coast Customs talking to guests about something like cars. There's a potential for this element of the ride, and I hope the quality matches the effort they are putting into the project. Inside the West Coast Racers Preview Center, they are in the process of removing and changing all the items inside. And over here we can see the park has painted over the brand new black asphalt in front of Dive Devil. They decided to go with the classic Magic Mountain red pathway. They have this same color throughout most of the walkways in the park, especially on your way towards Viper and X2. Bringing up the dining pass again really quick, once we know what that orange building is to the right, then this is going to be the place to eat. What's even better is that most of the items will be on the dining pass, which seems to be the trend for the park in most of its food locations. At each location, I'd say 80% of the items are dining pass eligible, while the rest you can only get through traditional forms of payment, or simply not offered on the dining pass. Now, moving on to our drone footage, all I can say is wow, this land is coming along together nicely. It looks almost unrecognizable compared to Cyclone Bay. They've managed to squeeze this decently sized coaster into this little area. You can see differences in asphalt colors they have, as one was just poured, so you don't have all the dirt from the construction sitting on top of it yet. This land is nearing completion, and after multiple delays, the end is coming in view. The park still hasn't announced an opening date for this brand new coaster. They are definitely going to miss the Fright Fest time slot, so now all eyes are on a Holiday in the Park opening. If that doesn't happen, then this coaster officially becomes a 2020 edition. Well, that's all for this West Coast Racers construction update. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more updates on West Coast Racers and Six Flags Magic Mountain. Some exciting things are on the way for this project, so please stay tuned to the channel.